Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we are looking at some gameplay footage. One of 3 videos I'm going to be showing you guys, which is awesome. I'm very pleased to finally be able to show you some gameplay. Unfortunately, I didn't have control of this. This is all footage that was recorded by a member of CA, and they have sent me the footage. They recorded it in 1080p. This video that you're watching is in 2K, but that's only because I wanted to avoid losing any more information. But anyway, it is a siege battle, which is awesome. It's Ogre Kingdoms versus Cathay. Here you can see some gorges are already taking a lot of flak. So this will all be cinematic footage, by the way. I had a choice of you know, either or, and I chose the cinematic just so we can get more close-ups. And if you want to see stats and things like that, I've got another video up there. You can have a look at that shows the whole roster. So this is be seeing all the units. So, oh wow, that's revealing actually. Those crane gunners were on the walls, so that's like having warp block Giselles on the walls. So that's actually really good that that unit type is more flexible now. Here you can see the gorges are actually attacking the walls because they can attack walls directly now, though there is some clipping issues there. Remember, this is still in development, as you can see from the thing at the top of the screen that says in development. So bear that in mind, but it's all a work in progress, and I've got to say, it's progressing well. This looks fantastic. I've seen a bunch of footage now, and I'm very excited for it. So here, the wall comes down like a toddler smashing up a jigsaw. The walls are breached. That's what the announcer should say when that happens. If only. And here, this is one thing I love about this map. Although you can break the walls anywhere, because walls can be broken anywhere now, there's 2 gates on the front of this. There's 2 gates there, so even if you don't have a bunch of units that can smash down the walls, you can actually have battering rams, like, break through the walls in 2 places, which I think is really cool, if you're just doing an all-out offensive from one flank. There, amongst the beautiful, beautiful houses, you may have noticed there was a wooden tower. That was one of the temporary towers built as part of the siege rework. So of course you can build barricades and towers now within the city to try and help bolster your defences, which is very, very cool. Really nice as like a dynamic, ever-evolving thing during a battle. I've got to say the walls as well look great with the little sort of lion statues dotted throughout. It looks very cool, really thematic. So the ogres have broken in with the Mournfang cavalry there. So looking very, very good. Oh, actually, those aren't the Mournfang cavalry, are they? No, those are the other ones, which are mentioned in that roster video, though I forget the name. They're riding Rhinoxes there, which is very cool. Here we can see a sky junk in the air. There's a giant, which is a slave to the ogres, very sadly. You can see they've chained up. They've got, you know, a big chain around it, so they can bolt it down somewhere. It's attacking a terracotta sentinel. Poor giants. I feel sorry for the giants. They used to be a noble race of sky sentinels until the ogres ruined their civilization completely and then inbred them all and enslaved them. It's pretty gross. It's pretty gross, all things considered. You can see that siege tower is firing, which is really cool. Nice to see that the towers do get some shots in. So there's Noblars running around trying to help out, and these crane gunners are blasting those nearby Mournfang cavalry. And that is going to do some pretty good work. You can see one got taken out already. And Jade Warriors are charging in to try and help the other Jade Warriors. If they're Jade Warriors with halberds, they're going to do quite well here. Another beautiful vista here. We can see the city zoomed out. Absolutely gorgeous. And so many ways in and out. And these huge bridges that you can deploy on. It's really good. The fact you have to go, like, past the bridge, up and around to get onto the bridge, it's really cool. You know, it's a defensive position that defends its own position. I think it's really interesting. It's just a really great way to sort of artificially make certain routes through the city longer than they otherwise would be, which is really cool. It's a really nice way to change the pacing of certain areas while allowing for sort of stronger defensive positions. So Crane Gunner's a little bit close here. So they could easily get wrapped up into that combat. And you got some Jade Warriors with crossbows as well, trying to get some work done. We can see a lot of lightning over there, because Miao Yin is in dragon form. So you can see a capture point is being taken by the Noblar. So the tower on the right just collapsed, because if an enemy takes your capture point, any barricades or defences that you have built will crumble. belonging to that particular capture point, of course. Also, each capture point will give a certain amount of supplies that can be used to build certain things anywhere in your settlement, which is pretty cool. I really like that. So I was a bit worried about it at first. I thought it might be a completely pointless addition. Just because combat in Warhammer 2 is so quick. You know, usually if you've sort of cleared out the walls of your enemy, they don't have time to fall back. The battle's decided already. So all these different sort of staging points you could fall back to felt pointless. But actually, from the gameplay I've been seeing, including from, you know, this battle, that's lead belchers there, looking very, very cool. Hold those great cannons. They just fill with any old nonsense they find, which is very cool. But anyway, the pacing of combat seems to be a lot slower in Warhammer 3. Battles aren't decided quite as quickly. Each engagement doesn't end in, you know, one unit being completely wiped out immediately, right? Even with the rock, paper, scissors, it doesn't matter. Things seem to take a little bit longer. The damage calculations seem to be a bit slower, which I think works brilliantly when you have these opportunities to fall back and do other things. This isn't something that we had in Warhammer 2. Having these sort of positions to fall back to felt pointless because the battle was decided before you would fall back. So is either you start falling back or you just fight on the front. You know, you didn't really get those different stages of combat. At least the gameplay didn't really push for that sort of thing, or really reward you for that sort of thing a whole lot. Whereas this, with the slower combat, it does feel like you will be able to sort of throw one unit in to hold a great swathe of the army at bay while you fall back to a more defensible place, perhaps with, you know, a bridge overlooking, or, you know, places you can get better line of fire. So I think there is more sort of incentive than I first thought, just because I think the pacing has been adjusted for this sort of gameplay. So Jade Warriors fleeing through the city. Although they're a little bit indecisive, I think. I think the AI might be a little bit confused as to how best to use their troops here. So there's a sky junk up there looking brilliant. Oh, and this spell is fantastic. This one is called the Maw. And this is from the lore of the Great Maw, as you'd expect. And it is a huge, beefy spell, does a ton of damage, and obviously evokes the Great Maw itself, which is very, very cool. So Terracotta Sentinel's doing a pretty good job of holding back those ogres. I'm amazed they haven't gone down yet. Incredible vistas again. I love the cherry trees out in the distance. It's really reminiscent of Three Kingdoms. And of course, you know, just China, I guess, in general. But it's absolutely beautiful, and it fits the whole Warhammer vibe a lot better than I thought it would. Honestly, it just seems like it's been here all along, you know? It doesn't feel out of place at all. Beautiful charge there. Skyjunk still trying to keep pace, but all it can do is shoot things, you know? Well, I can drop bombs too, but then the bombs aren't that useful against sort of groups that aren't, you know, big swathes of troops. Against things like ogres, it doesn't do a lot of damage. It really helps against... I mean, it would be great against these Noblars, but Noblars are rubbish anyway. Here is another spell coming in, which, unfortunately, I have forgotten what it's called. But it is brilliant. I love it. A giant fist summoned in the sky just demolishes things. So you can't see it here, but that unit had about 3/4 of its health, and it went down to about 1/4. Just from that one spell cast. It got absolutely decimated. Here the lead belchers blasting away. And just so much detail in the streets. I think is absolutely stunning. The city's obviously much more detailed in terms of, you know, gameplay choices. You know, many of options in terms of gameplay, but also just little details all over the place. It really is lovely. You know, these little archways and things on the side of the street. These little fences. The tiled roofs. It's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous place. So yeah, a lot of love and attention going to the cities in this game. Which makes sense, there's more of a gameplay emphasis on them, so you'd really want them to fit. I mean, look at all these lanterns and things. It's stunning. Absolutely stunning. So Jade Warriors doing their bit to hold off the Noblars, and oh no. I wonder if those Rhinox is going to charge in the rear. Hard to say. So what is interesting is we are seeing some evidence of this. So Jade Warriors actually have a specific ability that has them try and stay in formation. So they're more likely to try and maintain a formation. And you can kind of see evidence of that. They aren't getting really clustered in. They are actually keeping some spacing. So they're a very good defensive unit, because fewer of their troops will be in combat at any one time. Which I think is really interesting. I mean, they're only fighting Noblars, so really they should get on with it. But, you know, it is what it is. So brilliant to see the background of these settlements. Insanely steep stairs leading up to the palace. course, any invading army is going to be absolutely exhausted going up there. And, you know, your servants that have to go up there, well, they just have to leave home early to go up there, and so be it. But, of course, all the important people are dragons. So they don't have to care about stairs. They're more than happy to go up there. So I love it. I love how thematic the cities are. And how you can get these little bits of storytelling out of the different areas. It's beautiful. So Skyjunk is getting fired at by the lead belchers. And they seem to be doing a great job bringing that down. Absolutely stunning. So that's it for that video and that battle, but there will be 2 more battles for you guys to be able to see, and if you did want to look at any sort of stat-focused thing, then there will actually be that roster dissected and gone through in detail. In Engine, you'll be able to see their stat sheets and everything. Got all the stats for all those units coming up on the channel as well, along with a similar video for Tzeentch, Khorne, and Cathay. So you'll be able to get a good indication of what all the different units are that we're seeing in the few gameplay, you know, demos that I get to show you guys. So it'd be pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff coming up, and I hope you enjoy it. So comment, like, subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything you've seen today, and also on any other video that is coming out soon, because there's a lot of new information and a lot of really interesting stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and yeah, I can't wait to see what you all think about all of it. It's a very exciting time. Brilliant. So comment, like, subscribe. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.